battleground where warriors collide. Die Hard MMA podcast, we won't hide. Clint's gonna dig deep, analyze each brawl from the underdogs to the champions standing tall. The fury, let your instincts rise. Feel the adrenaline rush, it's time to defy. Die Hard MMA, we're in it for the thrill. Get ready for the madness. Let's make that bankroll spill.
Happy Friday, degenerate gamblers. Welcome on back to the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show. Last one of the year. Thank you all for joining me a little bit early today. We've got stuff going on, you guys, so I apologize. I'm using the downgraded camera here, so if there's a little bit of a delay or the quality is lower, I do apologize to you guys. We're on the move. We're on the run. It is absolutely that time of year. Annual holiday party going on tonight. My wife's got me running around cleaning crap up all day. We had to scarf some pizza for lunch real quick. You know, it's funny. My wife always gets salads with pizza, which is just a waste of stomach space, by the way. If you're going to have pizza, why would you bother with a salad? But some of her ranch dressing like drips onto one of my slices of pizza. And it's like that scene from Ratatouille where the guy like eats the pasta and it takes him back to when he was like 6-year-old at grandma's house. I haven't put ranch on pizza in years. And it was like, oh my God, it was as good as the day I lost you. So welcome into the show, everybody. We are going to hustle on through this one a little bit. So expect a shorter show than normal. First things first, need to shout out the sponsor, cloudbet.com. Thank you for sticking with me here, Cloudbet. Appreciate you very much. Get signed up, everybody. We've got promo code DieHardMMA, link in the description below, up to $2,500 in welcome bonuses and exclusive sweat-free first bet when you sign up using promo code DieHardMMA. So you guys get on in there. Let's do this thing, guys, because like I said, I'm going to keep repeating that, but I apologize. I got to hustle today. We're on a clock. First fight of the night, we've got Teresa Blato, and she is taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. I love this fight. I actually really, really like this fight, you guys. I've been kind of going back and forth on this one as far as what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Both these women are used to having the size and strength advantage, so it's going to be interesting to see who really does have the size and strength advantage here. Jamie Lynn obviously does look like she is the slightly larger fighter. However, Blato is like 11 years younger than her. And I kind of like Teresa Blato here, you guys. I know she's been gone for a really, really long time, but the word on the street is that she actually had like a knee injury that she's been dealing with throughout her first couple years here in the UFC. So she's 24 years old now after a 2-year layoff. She's a really physical person. She's really good at wrestling. She can pin people up against the fence and just kind of grind them along the cage when she needs to. And I love in that Gabriela Fernandez fight how she was able to like continue finding her way into like half guard top position, which there's not a whole lot you can do from bottom when your opponent is, in half guard. They just kind of pin you down. Your leg is stuck. There's not a whole lot you've got to offer. And her ground and pound is nasty, man. So as much as I respect Jamie Lynn Horth and I know how tough and durable she is, she's one of those tough as a $2 steak type of fighters. when you're taking on somebody who's kind of a younger version of you and there's 11-year gap in age, I got to go with the younger fighter. So she's a slight favorite, but I kind of like Blato here on this one. And Troy in the chat saying Clint's going to hit the turkey hair transplant parlay to get even on the year, on the last card. That would, in fact, be a good look. So from your lips to God's ears, my friend, maybe we can pull that off here this week. There's a couple of I don't want to call them hot takes, but like there's a couple of opportunities here. Because I mean, like I could see Teresa Blato wearing out Jamie Lynn and like TKOing her in the 3rd round or something. You could get like a round 3 sprinkle. That one's probably going to be a decision. It's probably going to be a split decision. I don't want to get too far out over my skis, but like there's a chance. There's a couple things on here that could really, put some serious numbers up. So the next couple of fights, you guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've said it all week long that I just simply don't have a ton as far as my opinion goes on these. Alan Fry and Guillermo Pat. I am a little surprised watching the face-offs at how big Fry is. I think Pat's a complete fraud. I don't think Fry is UFC caliber, but I will say they size up a whole lot better than I expected. I thought that Pat was going to be absolutely massive here. Absolutely thought he was going to heighten reach advantage, tower over this dude. You know what I mean? He's never faced any type of pushback whatsoever. Absolutely zero resistance in any one of his fights. So I don't know if Pat can even handle getting punched in the face. So I got to lean dog or pass here for this fight. You can get like plus 150 on Alan Fry. And I don't like Fry either. I don't think Fry is very good either. But at the end of the day, if you're talking these guys are roughly the same size, I know Fry's going to bite down on the mouthpiece and come forward and swing heavies. I don't know if Pat can even take a punch. I don't know if he's got the ability to dig deep and stay in the fight and keep swinging. He's got faster hands. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely does. But from a betting perspective, like I can't. I just can't. I said Pat by KO earlier in the week. I don't care. I am not going to bet this fight. I suggest you don't either. This is not a fight where your money should be involved. So I'm gonna flip flop here, you guys. I'm gonna say Fry wins the fight here, but that's just because I think Pat's kind of a fraud that's just waiting to get checked. We'll see what ends up happening. We now have Melissa Cronin and Luana Santos, 136 on the dot for both these women. And guys, I kind of feel like I might like Melissa Cronin here. Would you look at the size difference? Would you just look at the size difference? So, I mean, I've been talking about how I feel like Luana Santos is overrated. And I went back and I watched some of her tape, and she is just not good on the feet, guys. She is just not good on the feet. Now, she is slick on the ground. But you go back and you look like the Casey O'Neill fight. And Casey was able to shuck takedowns and keep her standing. And this girl had no idea what she was doing when she got stuck on the feet with her. Cronin, she's big, she's tough, she's strong. The only thing that worries me is that I got absolutely everything I wanted in her last fight from Lisboa. I thought Lisboa was going to be able to take her down. I thought Lisboa was going to be able to out-scramble, out-hustle her, and tire her out and finish her, basically. And I got everything I wanted, except for in the end, Lisboa was too small and she got tired, and Cronin was able to find that second gear. I could see that happening again here because we have seen Luana really fade in her fights before. We have seen her gas out. We have seen her slow down. I've seen moments where I kind of question her heart a little bit. And just looking at the size difference between these two, I definitely think that Cronin is going to be able to make her kind of feel that power, feel that strength. And I could see Lisboa getting tired trying to take her down. Could be a problem. Raw saying that Cronin didn't have shoes on either. That's a really good note, because if Lisboa has shoes on in this photo, even if they're just like flip-flops or something like that, we're talking like another half inch in size difference here. So yeah, I got to stick with Cronin, you guys. It's funny because you guys know how I do, where like I want to fade somebody and then I flip-flop, and that's the fight where I've been right all along when I finally flip off of them. Well, I faded Cronin with Lisboa. I've been kind of a closet Lisboa fan all this time, thinking she was going to be better than she is. But I've been trying to fade Luana forever, right? And so on this fight, I was like, is this the one? Is this the one where like I just stick with fading Cronin and I finally cash a ticket on Lisboa because, or not Lisboa, on Luana, because Lisboa showed us that she can be grappled. Maybe Santos can just do a better job of that. And now I'm like, no, I'm digging my heels in. I'm digging my heels in, and I'm going to stick with the fade train on Luana Santos. I'm going to trust this big-ass Canadian chick. So come on, Cronin. Don't make me look like an idiot. Go out there and get this thing done. I wouldn't even mind like the late props on this one, you guys, because she got the round 3 finish in her last fight over Lisboa, and I could see something very, very similar happening here. So for her to win like round 3 TKO is like 18-1. The KO prop is like plus 450. That's probably more what I like, is just the KO prop by itself, because she hits like a truck. And I just don't know that Lisboa is going to be able to, or geez, I keep saying Lisboa. I don't know that Luana is going to be able to take it. If she's in there and stuck with this chick on the feet for a long time, I do not know if she's going to be able to handle it. So the plus 450 KO prop, I think, makes some sense. All right, next up, we are back. We are back to the big boys and the boys that I frankly don't care about. We have got Shroth and Aspund. I like Aspund mostly because of his story. I mean, these are both those big old bag of milk type of heavyweight guys, right? They look like me. Put a shirt on, buddy. Guys, this is as low level as it gets. This is going to be a violent fight. Both these guys have big time power. They're both going to go out there and try and steamroll each other. I don't have any idea who's going to win this fight. I'm really hoping that it's Aspund. He's got that whole comeback storyline, right, where he got himself in shape, and you see his tits are hanging down by his belly button here. That's because he lost like 200 pounds. And see, Top already pointed out saying Aspund is built like a melting candle. That's a good way to put it. I like that. But it's a comeback story though. It's because this guy was massively fat and he got his shit together, and it's like I'm gonna cheer for him because of that. You know what I mean? He wins a couple UFC fights, maybe he gets a performance bonus and he can go get all that extra flesh removed. You know, he can get some surgery to trim that shit off, and he'll be looking like Francis Ngannou here in a year or two. I hope Aspund wins the fight. He is a slight favorite here. He is the larger man. I also think he's the more willing participant. We'll see what happens. But that's a really rough fight, frankly, you guys. It should be fun. It should be a round 1, maybe bet an under. But that's basically all I would be looking at there. The next fight is one that I'm extremely interested in, though, you guys. This is Neil Magny and Yaroslav Amosov, 171 on the dot for both these guys here. Very, very intriguing fight. So Neil Magny's been sucking people into the Magnyverse for a long time. He's been exposing people left and right over the last year or so. And now he's an even bigger underdog in this spot than he usually is. And what do I always tell you guys about that? To me, that's just like an alarm 5 red bells. Like, what is the maximum alert? DEFCON 5. Like, it's everything you're looking for from the bookies that are letting you know who should win this fight. Because with back-to-back finishes, the way Neil Magny has over established UFC guys, for him to now be a plus 350 underdog to this guy, it's like that's just the bookies going, hey, come on, take the bait. Like, you just cashed the ticket, you just had your parlay busted, this is that guy, come jump in, the water's fine. I think he's going to get his ass whipped here, you guys. I think this is going to be a round 1 finishing here. Amosov, if you don't know him, he's from Bellator. He was their champion. He is from why am I blanking on the name of his country? The one Russia is invading. Dang it. Help me out, somebody here. Ukraine. He's from Ukraine. And there's even like this video circulating. He left he left mixed martial arts to go fight for his country. And while he was on active duty, we're talking like geared up and everything like that. Like, he went back to his old house and he like dug down into the basement, like sifting through the rubble of the wreckage of his old home, and he found his old Bellator belt. Like, how freaking cool is that? Like, it's a really awesome story. Since then, he has moved to the UFC. He has moved to the United States. Now he's training out of ATT full time. So you've got this elite level competitor who lost his belt in the midst of his country's war, who now gets a shot at the UFC, who now is living in the United States, who now is training full time. I mean, this is the spot where I think he comes out here and smashes. And we've all seen how Neil Magny handles things on the mat. We know he can be had down there. This guy's a very good grappler. I love his sub prop here this week. I will be having a taste of it. Inside the distance is minus 105. So you're getting basically even money for him to just win the fight inside the distance. So if you want to go that way, I think that makes some sense. But the sub prop at like 2-1 or plus 180, I think plus money is good money in this fight. I think he finishes Neil Magny, and I think he does it early. Top says if you can lose to Jason Jackson, you can lose to Magny. And while Top Funny Clips, I completely agree with you. I do think it had to do a lot with the timing. I think it had a lot to do with him being 1 foot out the door as far as his MMA career goes. Now he's back. Now he's focused. Now he's at a good camp. Now he's stateside. Like, there's a whole lot of different things happening right now for this man in his life. And I do think that that makes some sort of a difference. He could just be shot. Don't get me wrong. And that's where you got to watch, because live bet Neil Magny if it looks like he's starting to turn the tide on things. But until otherwise, I'm going to bank on the guy who I think is the cleaner grappler. Next up, we have got another fight that, frankly, guys, I couldn't talk to you much about. Brito got a short notice opponent, Isaac Thompson. I know this is a popular prospect from the LFA. Beyond that, you got me. I really don't know a lot about him with everything happening this week. I'm sorry, it's been like the week from hell, you guys. I've not had time to look into Thompson, so I know nothing about him. I have trust issues with Anderson Brito. He's very talented. He's very explosive, but I've also counted on him when he's lost several times already before. So, like, I don't want to go to war with him as a big, big favorite here. And this line has been absolutely hammered. We've seen tons of money coming in on this Thompson kid. He opened up as like a plus 350 favorite. He's down under 2-1 now at this point. So I got to kind of pick Brito, but I'm doing this blindly because, I did not get to tape this. I do not know anything about this kid. And in the interests of time, I'm just going to move on and leave it there for you guys. My Super Bowl, though, is up next. Jillian Robertson takes on Amanda Limos. 115.5 for Limos, 116 for my girl Jillian Robertson. The Savage, look at the hair. Oh, it's big time this weekend, you guys. This fight is fantastic from a lot of perspectives, from booking perspective, from a veteran versus newcomer, young and old, all that kind of stuff. Like, I love this fight. It could go either way. It's tough to lay Jillian chalk at this stage. And it's funny, I got wet feet with Jillian a while ago, you guys, because I've seen her fail a couple of times in steps up in competition. And so I've been kind of wary of backing her financially ever since then. And I worry about this spot. But it really does seem like the perfect time, doesn't it? Like, if she's ever really going to make a run at it, this would be the spot. This would be her coming out party. And I kind of feel like that's what it is. Limos is like a plus 160, plus 170 dog. This is a short notice fight for her. She is filling in, but she's coming off a fight against maybe the best wrestler in the entire division. So, she probably is at least semi-ready to defend takedowns here in this spot. Jillian will be the fighter that's on like the full camp, though. Still, she does not like getting hit. And that's kind of my worry here. I think violence makes a lot of sense in this fight. I'm going to lean with Jillian Robertson. The problem is with steps up in competition, sometimes these fighters will take the path of least resistance. Not the problem. Obviously, that's the smart thing to do for them, right? But for gamblers, it kind of sucks because you want the excitement, you want the finish, you want the big moment, right? I could see with her coming in not on a full camp, maybe Limos slows down as the fight goes on. Jillian gets like a round 2, round 3 sub as she continues hitting these takedowns. But I could also see her saying, this woman is strong as an ox, and I really don't want to get touched by her, so I'm just going to sit on her chest here for a couple minutes and getting a decision. Just kind of nullifying her, make sure she can't hit you, that kind of thing. I could see Jillian playing it smart. So sub or decision, I'll pick Jillian here on this one. Yeah, that one's I got a lot riding on that one, guys, because if Jillian is just going to continue this takeover here as far as being the grappling specialist here in the women's MMA weight class after all these years cheering for her, it would be something. I'd be very, very excited for her. Bobby Green is back, and he's taking on Lance Gibson Jr. This is another Bellator transplant here. It's 160-pound catch weight, if you guys didn't know on this one. Bobby Green's original opponent fell out. Lance is stepping in. I feel like I've seen Lance fight before, but again, short notice replacement, week from hell. I have not had an opportunity to really watch tape on this one, you guys, so I've got to be basically very surface level on this one for you. I don't have a lot of information on Lance Gibson Jr. The thing is, with Bobby Green, we know he's a staple of the UFC. We know he's got a shoulder roll. We know he's got good boxing. We know he's hard to take down and control. So this is the kind of fight where you would think, a veteran of so many UFC fights at the level of Bobby Green, he probably can take on a guy like this from Bellator, right? But Bobby's taken a whole lot of damage recently, and his whole thing was always he can't be hurt, right? He can't be finished. He can't be put down. Well, he's been put down now in 3 of his last 4 fights. So I got to wonder how true that is anymore. Like, he might be shot. Bobby Green might be shot. This guy, the Lance is coming in here. He's a finisher. He can submit people. He's got big knockouts on his record. The only loss he's ever had was to this Russian dude, Tokov. I don't want to say he's like a world beater or anything like that either. So but it's still, it's not a bad loss. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm not laying Bobby Green chalk. I think I'm just past the days of laying Bobby Green chalk. You know what I mean? He went on a real good run there for a couple of years where he was underrated and they gave him good fights and he really showed out and showed people what level he is. But now he's kind of old and now he's a little small. And I don't want to lay chalk on him against the younger buck who can come in here and maybe crack that chin a little bit. Next up, you have got Kennedy Nichuku and Marcus Buchette. Kennedy comes in at 243, so he is putting on some weight. He is filling out at that heavyweight frame. Marcus 251.5. There's obviously a big height and reach disadvantage for Marcus in this spot. McMuffin, what are you doing, man? You're like talking to yourself in the chat here. Is there somebody else that got like blocked or something that you're trying to talk to? Weird. Anyway. I kind of like Marcus in this spot. It's a weird fight, but we just saw Kennedy get taken down and tapped. And if you do recall, Marcus's UFC debut, he took Martin Boudet down, took his back with ease, reversed him with ease, and then he started pounding him through the canvas. Now, he got tired. I feel like it was a bit of an adrenaline dump situation in his UFC debut. He's a primary grappler making his start over here in the UFC. I know Kennedy is a guy who everybody has respect for. I know he's got a lot of experience. He's got those long-range tools. You know, you've got the kicks up the middle and stuff like that. But those are the kinds of things I think a good grappler can grab onto. I think a good grappler can grab the leg and take him down and, you know, get him off the kick, off balance him, tip him over, that kind of thing. And if he's able to get his grappling going, I wouldn't count out a TKO here. I mentioned that on my other show this week. I actually think Marcus could land a KO at plus 800 here in this fight. So if you like Marcus, if you're planning on going with the sub prop or something, just play inside the distance because his ground and pound is so nasty. I think that's the way that you got to look in this spot because I don't want you to lose your money thinking sub and then him ending up getting a ground and pound TKO or something like that, because I definitely think that could happen. I also could see him taking a conservative approach after gassing out in his last fight and then just like riding position here and winning a decision. So I like the money line. This is my dog of the week. I'm going to take that shot. I called a long time ago that I don't think Kennedy is going to be overly effective at heavyweight. We'll see if that, you know, turns out to be true. I don't know if he's going to be big and physical enough to take on some of these natural heavyweight guys, but he does look like he's filling out into his frame, so that could always come back and bite me. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take my shot this week. You've got Costa and Morgan Sharie, 145.5, and I've got to wrap up the next couple fights in like 9 minutes, you guys, so bear with me here. Again, apologies for the rush, but it is what it is today. You've got a tough spot here where I can't pick a side. I do think Morgan Sharie looks to be a decent bit more physical. I thought that Melqueza would have more of a height and reach advantage. I thought he'd be taller. It's a coin flip. It looks like money is starting to seep in ever so slightly to the Melqueza Costa side. That is the side that I kind of like here in this spot. I know Sharie has been exciting, but he also really only KOs like super chinny people. From what I understand, he's getting to the United States a little bit late for this fight as well. Maybe he fights his best when he comes in short notice, but I've been burned by his poor decision-making mid-fight way too many times to go out there and trust the guy again. So I got to side with Melqueza Costa on this spot, but it's a fight that I don't think you need to have action on. It should be a fun one to watch. And unless you really have an angle that you like, I don't think there's any point in flipping that coin. We got a kickboxing extraordinaire here. Cesar Almeida takes on Cesare Oleksiejczuk. We got 186 for Almeida, 185.5 for Oleksiejczuk. Oleksiejczuk's big, dude. Look at this kid. Both these guys are kickboxers. Oleksiejczuk, the younger, better brother of Michal Oleksiejczuk. He's also over with the Fighting Nerds. So we got to expect this guy to have some, bullying level experience and then getting even more experience from some high level training partners. You got to like that. I kind of like Oleksiejczuk. I don't really like the price tag. You guys know I'm not a fan of laying big chalk numbers on people who are new to the UFC. I think they need to prove it to me before I'm going to go out there and put that kind of money on them. I kind of like the over 1.5, minus 160. This should be a kickboxing fight. Yeah, Cesar's probably a little long in the tooth. Yes, Zaire is probably a little faster. I should probably use their last names since their first names are so close. Olex probably a little faster, probably hit a little harder. So I could see maybe like an early finish catching him off guard, something like that. But at the end of the day, if these guys are high-level kickboxers, they're probably going to play around in the cage a little bit. Not play around, but you know what I mean. Like they're not going to find a finish because they're both very good. So the over 1.5, I think, is probably the best way to look at this one. And you might have to, pucker that butthole just a little bit because they'll both hit each other with really big shots. But I think we get there. And then you don't have to actually pick a winner. And it doesn't matter if this kid gets like a UFC veteran lesson in his first UFC fight. We will already have money in pocket. Co-main event, one we're all very excited about. Giga Chikadze takes on Kevin Vallejos. And gosh dang, dude, Kevin is so small. You guys, Kevin is so small. Giga's got a massive height and reach advantage here in this spot. He is getting much, much older. You can see how thick Kevin is. Look how big his head is. Look how big his shoulders and his back are. Like, he absolutely makes up for the height with that little dog syndrome that he's got going on down there. I like Kevin Vallejos. I have to like Kevin Vallejos in this spot. It is hard to trust Giga at this stage of his career. He's talked about some things like, there were some quotes in like some of his interviews this week where he's talking about, just enjoying the journey again. And like, these are old fighter quotes. These are retirement fighter quotes where people are talking about that kind of stuff. When you've got to find that love instead of going in there, with piss and vinegar, this kid's got fire running through his veins. This guy's got lightning running through his veins. He wants to hurt people. He's talking about loving the weight cut because he gets to go trash somebody in the cage tomorrow. And Giga's out there trying to find his inner peace. Like that's where the veteran versus the youth tips, right? Like you want that fire rather than the inner peace at this stage. So I got to go with Kevin Vallejos. Does he get the finish is the question. I still think Giga's probably tough enough to hang around in this fight. Now, it wouldn't shock me if he gets taken down and dragged around the cage and gets beaten up. Like maybe you get a late finish or something like that from Kevin Vallejos. I don't think Kevin's going to be able to close the distance well enough to land big enough shots often enough to put him down. I think this is like a levels fight where Kevin has to work his way into it, basically, and he's going to have to really earn this one. So I think it's a Kevin by decision, which you can still get plus money on. I recognize the threat of maybe old man Giga can get knocked out, but I think I'll lean on Kevin to win this fight via decision. Hey, McMuffin, my man, thank you very much. Appreciate you for being here and hanging out. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you there for that one. All right, guys. Timing couldn't be more perfect. We got just a couple more minutes here, and I will break down this main event here for you, and we will be all set. What a fight we've got here for the main event. You've got Raw Dog Royval taking on Manel Kopp, 126 for both these guys. I said I thought Brandon Royval was probably live in this spot. He's a really big underdog. He's an elite level fighter. And I think getting this kind of plus money on somebody like that is just the way to go. I also have questions about Manel Kopp because realistically, every single time he's fought elite opposition, he fails. The thing that worries me about Brandon Royval is the amount he gets hit. He's been hit a lot recently, and that could be a problem, especially when Manel Kopp is coming in here with boobs. I don't know if you guys saw, but this guy is taking so much as far as like steroids and shit like that he's got the gyno thing that Izzy's got going on. So he actually has boobs. He's sponsored by OnlyFans. He's going to come out with a new Victoria's Secret sponsorship. He needs a bra. He's going to be competing on the White House card. He's going to fight the winner of Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. Like he's switching teams on us. So what I've been saying a lot recently, you guys, I used to get on people about cheating, right? I used to be like, I want to fade. No, we know he's cheating. We know he's juiced to the tits, quite literally. So we should be betting on somebody in that situation. Like he's going to have an advantage that is unfair in this fight, and we know it walking in the door. So we should probably bet on him. The problem is I can still just see like ever so clearly in my head him getting submitted by Kyoji Horiguchi over in Asia. That I'm like, man, Brandon Royval in a 25-minute fight, if Kopp slows down at all, if Kopp makes mistakes at all, if Kopp engages in the grappling at all, like Raw Dog is exactly the kind of guy that will fight for your money, will get out there and do the dang thing. But we have seen Manel Kopp fighting at basically the best level he's ever fought his entire career. He is dialed in. He wants that title shot. And if he cracks Brandon Royval with those nuclear fists. Like I could see just those big moments stealing rounds. So even if it goes the distance and it's a close fight, like Manel Kopp is the guy who's got the bigger fan base. Manel Kopp is the guy they've been trying to get to the title shot for time and time again. I know Brandon Royval's got that storyline with Josh Van right now, and he's fought closely with Tetsuro Taira. So like there's a lot of rematch possibilities there. But the UFC brought in Manel Kopp to be a champion. They brought him in to be a headliner. They brought him in to be a name that they could pin up on a bulletin board. So I think by hook or by crook, Manel Kopp is going to be the one who ends up getting his hand raised. This really is it for him. If he loses this fight, his whole UFC journey essentially amounts to nothing. So he's going to be locked in better than ever for this exact fight. And you can always live bet Brandon Royval. Royval is exactly the kind of guy that you want to jump in on a live bet. If you see the momentum swinging, this is the guy that you can jump in there and take a piece of. Thank you guys very much for being here with me. I do apologize for the abbreviated show. Is what it is this week. Got to do what I got to do. So that'll do it for me. Of course, tonight or tomorrow, I will be putting up my final card for everybody. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to have the time to do my usual MMA holiday parlay video because I'm not going to be able to get it done by fight time tomorrow. So I apologize, you guys, but I will put something out there for you. It's not going to be in the fun video format like it usually is, but we'll try to pull it off one way or the other. Raw, my man, Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, and happy holidays to absolutely everybody out there, you guys. Also, just I want to leave you on this note. There's a massive, massive move right now where everybody feels like you're not allowed to say Merry Christmas for some God knows reason. Nobody took Merry Christmas from you, you guys. You can say Merry Christmas and I will say thank you and I'll say it back to you. You can say Happy Holidays and I'll say it back to you. You can tell me Happy Hanukkah and I'll say it right back at you. Like, it's okay. Like, we can all interact. We can all intertwine. We can all be happy for each other. It's really okay. Put the guns down. Let the fighters fight in the cage on Saturday. Let's not do it with each other. I will be back, of course, on Monday, you guys, so don't worry. You won't have to miss me too long. We will have another show coming for you to entertain you next week. Good luck. Kick some ass tomorrow, and I will catch you guys online. Shout out one last time. My sponsor here, CloudBet, you guys, promo code in the description below. Please get signed up. And with that, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Let's roll.